that side looks nicer than that side, doesn't it? Why? Why? Actually, why? Both the same. Bear with me, Hans, bear with me. Hello, honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now, then hi, my name's Imogen. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are just joining me now, then please make sure you hit that subscribe button, join my family of Huns, because I genuinely believe this. We have the most loving family on the internet, so who wouldn't want to subscribe and be a part of that? Because we are actually really loving. Anyway, what else have I got to say? Oh yes, if you are returning, then thank you so much for returning. Please definitely give it a thumbs up. It really helps your baby girl out. And what else do I need to tell you? Oh yes, my Honey Cosmetics lashes are £10 now on the website, so I'll leave the link in the description, but I'm just going to stop talking. Anyway, today is Storytime Sunday. I'm so buzzing. It's so exciting because actually I missed out last week because I wasn't very well. Let's not talk about it. But thanks so much for being so supportive and so wonderful on my other video. But every single week on this channel, every single Sunday, we are doing a story time. Following on from the last story time, we are doing old job story times. I will link them all in the description so you can catch up, because trust me, some of them are quite funny, if I do say so myself. Also, I'm actually uploading 3 times a week at the moment. I'm uploading Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays at 5 PM. Tuesdays, different vid. Thursdays, moving in vlogs, because we've got moving in vlogs because we've moved. And then Sundays, story times. So yay! Bit of consistency there, you know. I wanted some stability for my Huns. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking and go on with the video. Following on from my last job, we left and we went into the world of nightlife. Dun dun ba cha-ching. So I became a door girl at a club in London. The term was actually called hostess, I think. I don't know, but we stood behind this door and loved our life and whatever. Anyway, quickly, just before this, I did have a couple of other jobs during university, which were me working on a door, but that was in different clubs. That wasn't in Mayfair of London, that was in the city of London. I don't really have too many story times about that, because I actually don't. There were wanky men, excuse my language, there weren't very nice men, there was some awful women involved at that job, but actually there wasn't anything significant which I could really tell you about, if you know what I mean. But just know that I did have some experience before I went and worked on the door at this club in Mayfair. May I add, this club in Mayfair, Prince Harry's gone there. Like, it's a big club. It's a club where people know, like, it was popping off. It's actually been around for like over 10 years. Yeah, oh yeah. So I was like, I can't believe I've got the job, you know. And my friend that I used to be close with, who is now very successful in her job, I'm not gonna name drop or anything like that because that's just cringe, but we used to be really close. She is actually a singer now, very talented and incredible. She actually got me the job because she got fired. There was a vacancy. She kind of put me in touch with a couple of people, and there you go, your baby girl got the job, which was amazing. I actually believed that when I got this job, I landed like the best job ever, because I just used to chill on the door at night. It was easy for me to be able to do my acting auditions, because most of the people that worked there were all actors, models. They just all had something which they could do throughout the day and then come at night and earn money. The waitresses could earn really good money, but first of all, I will say this. I went in and I was no holds barred Imogen. I was like, hi, I'm Imogen, you know, making friends with everyone, and loved it, absolutely loved it. However, on my first shift, there was a baby princess who, I actually really do like her. She is actually funny, but when you first meet her, she can be really, she even admits this, she can be very cold and very like, who's the new girl, you know. And some people are just like that. Like, I'm really welcoming, I'm like, hi everyone, you know, being all friendly. But she was very much like, who's the new girl, she better not be friends with my really good friend. And she's just extremely cold, and she admits that, and I'm the opposite. So I was like, hi, nice to meet you. And she was like, I don't like her. Do you know what I mean? So absolutely buzzing that I got this job, and I met this baby girl and I was like, oh my goodness, she hates me. So on my first shift, they didn't really explain too much. It was quite dead at the beginning, so it wasn't really like a nightclub at the very beginning, because it opens at 6 for people to come in and just eat dinner and love life and chill out, etc. So I didn't realise that I needed to know the tables. Like, they were just a bit, they were so chilled out. They were kind of like, you know, Imogen, we're gonna leave you on the door, like, you've got an iPad, you can't just do this, like, until 9 o'clock when the other lady gets here, you don't need to really worry about like tables and stuff like that. So I was like, chilled, easy. Then this really big group booking comes in, and they're like, oh, we've got a reservation. I was like, where's the iPad? Then I didn't know, because no one told me, that you had to radio down and be like, oh, table for 4 coming down under the name of, you know, whatever. Anyway, Imogen's walking them downstairs herself. She doesn't even, she leaves the door. I've left the laptop, I've left the cash box, I've left everything unattended. Yeah, don't worry about me. So someone could literally just walk in from the street and just go, hey, see you later, I'll take that, I'll take that. Left the iPad upstairs. Anyway, I've walked them downstairs and I've gone to the girl, oh, this is table for 4. And she was like, you need to radio down. And I was like, oh, I didn't know. Bearing in mind, the customers are literally like behind. She just didn't care. She did not care. And I was like, oh my goodness. First shift. I'm like, what have I got myself into? Anyway, then I went to the toilet, still leaving upstairs unattended, and then basically where the behind of the bar is, it's next to the toilet. So I was sitting in the toilet like, oh my goodness, like she's gonna tell the manager like I'm awful at this job, blah blah blah, I don't want to lose this job, it's gonna get tips, it's good money, it's flexible, I can work at night, like I can swap the shift with people. I was like, I don't want to lose this job. Anyway, she was like, who is that new girl? Honestly, I was sitting in the toilet like, I could hear it all. And I was so scared. I wasn't confrontational because I wasn't comfortable enough, and I did actually want this job. So I was like, oh my goodness, like don't even say anything. All I heard was her just slagging me off. When I mean slagging, I'm like, she was fully going in. Like, she didn't care. She was fully going in. She was like, who's the new girl? Like, what's she doing? She's awful. Get rid of her. I don't like her. She's like, I don't like her. She was literally shouting. She was like, I don't like her. And I was like, we laugh about it now because whenever I worked there for like 3 years, so we became friends after that, although we were always opposite. So I was always so over the top and she was blunt. She'd say things to you like, you put on weight or you've lost weight. Like, she would honestly be blunt. She didn't care. She has no filter. She would just tell you. And I'm there like, I have a filter. Please don't tell me these things because I'm sensitive as... Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm very sensitive. Please don't be honest with me. Be honest with me if you're my best friend, but if you're not, just don't tell me anything. Anyway, I continued to work there and I actually really liked it at the beginning because it seemed so easy. Like, it was just like a fun environment. Everyone was fun. People would come down, you know, you'd have the odd customer. Basically, it was open all week except Sunday. Well, I started picking up loads of shifts because when I'd finished uni, I needed money. And also I went into another job, which I'll tell you about like when it comes to that point. But for this moment, I'll just sort of give you a brief overview of the club. But trust me, when I tell you, I've got some stories to tell you about this club. Like, I need to talk to my best friend Lucy and we need to like confer about like, I can't remember so much, but I can remember a lot. So we're gonna have a little chat. Anyway, so you wouldn't even believe it because when I first started there, I thought it was a doddle. But because it was open in the week, you would get the office men. Yeah, so you'd get the office men that worked in Mayfair. They were obviously on a very, very well paid salary. Like, when I mean well paid, I mean like well paid. And they'd come in for like their works dues, you know, Christmas works dues, all those things. And the amount of SHIT I dealt with just from those office men, you wouldn't even believe it. You wouldn't even believe it. Like, honestly, they just thought you were a piece of skirt. They just thought you were a little girl, like, you know, just working there, like, you know, wearing these dresses, because we had to wear these like floral tight bodycon dresses, but your baby girl got away with not. I'll tell you about that in a minute. They would just look at us like we were nothing. And the amount of comments I had, like, you do realise I earn more in an hour than you'll ever earn in a year? And I was like, thanks, hon. And like, you just have to bite your tongue. But sometimes with men, I'm not that great at it. So my manager would have to come up sometimes because I'd just radio the manager and be like, can you come up a second? And they'd be like, what's the problem here? And I'd be like, this man's being very rude to me. And they'd be like, we don't really care, Imogen. Do you know what I mean? Like, these men are paying an extortionate amount of money to be in this club. We don't really care about you, Imogen, kind of thing. And I was like, sweet. Anyway, going back to the dresses. So the dresses, they don't fit your baby girl because you either had to be a size 4 or you weren't getting into those dresses. Like, your baby girl did not fit those dresses. Like, the amount of times I felt really bad about myself because I'd go to put these dresses on and they'd just zip up and it would like make me have like bulges, you know, when it was so tight and you're like, I feel so uncomfortable. And they're like, I can't explain to you the dresses. They're like a very old school, like very pin-up kind of girl. They'd make your boobs look massive. They'd kind of come up here, but then in the middle they'd have like this rose-shaped bit, which just, it was vile. I hated them so much. Anyway, I'd wear them, but I couldn't breathe. So sometimes I'd wear like the coats. We had to wear these like faux fur coats over us. And I just wear it open. I'd literally, like, can't explain to you, like, I'd literally have the seam all the way down. You could see my underwear if you opened that coat, but no one was taking that coat off me. Like, sometimes when the heat was on, they'd be like, Imogen, aren't you boiling? And I'd be like, I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. I was absolutely sweating my TITs off like a joke, but I wasn't getting it off because I couldn't show them, I couldn't fit the dress. Anyway, so Imogen slowly but surely started wearing little two pieces. As long as it was floral, I thought it was fine. Anyway, I started getting told off a little bit by the management. However, because, oh, my mum's calling me. Is she loving life or something? Just pick up, angels. Mims? Mum loves it. Where was I? Before I was rudely interrupted. No, I'm joking. I wasn't rudely interrupted. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I love you, Mum. Basically, I started like implementing my own kind of fashion style, but the thing is they wouldn't really tell me off that much because I was actually really good with customers. Like, I love talking to people. I love talking to all of you. I love talking to people. So when people come in, I just make friends with them and be like, yeah, and they loved it. Especially when they were drunk as well. Don't know why. But when people are drunk, they're really friendly or they're really horrible. But when I got them really friendly, I'd be like, can you tell my manager, he's over there, how good I am? And they go up and be like, we love Imogen, she's helped us so much. And I think, I didn't really help you that much, but you're drunk and you love me and I love you, so thanks. I'd literally say, do you want to go and talk to my manager about it? I was so cheeky. I was like, you gotta tell the manager. It actually got to the point where I started wearing whatever I wanted, and all the waitresses would come up and be like, why are you getting to wear that? And I was like, I don't even know. Like, honestly, I don't even know. Maybe it's because they felt sorry for me because they thought maybe she can't fit in the dresses, because these girls are like all models, they're all unreal, and they're all, you know, naturally really tiny, which, you know, we've all got different body shapes. I love my body and I love every body shape, but I'm saying is that I felt rubbish there because I couldn't fit in. I was like, it's back at Hollister. It's all back at Hollister. But where I got a little bit dark, before it got very dark, where it got a little bit dark was when some of the men would come in, and women, yeah, they'd be absolutely off their face. And when I mean off their face, I looked at them and be like, it's 6 p.m, hun, are you okay? And at the beginning, I was a little bit naive. However, living in London really did open up my eyes, because even though I'm from Brighton, which is apparently quite drug-filled here, like a lot of people do drugs in Brighton, I don't really know about it, my parents sheltered me. I was a bubble-wrapped child. So when I went to London, I was like, what? Drugs? Excuse me? Sorry? I've never tried a cigarette, I've never touched a drug, like I'm very much like this. So I was like, what is going on? You know, like very much like, London, you're scaring me. But it's only because at night you see a lot on like a door of a nightclub, because you see a specific amount of people. And bearing in mind the people that were coming to this club were very, very wealthy, so they had a lot of money to apparently do whatever they wanted to do. I don't judge anyone, but I do judge this, because at 6 p.m. in the evening they'd be, you know, bags of cocaine, like actual bags of drugs, would fall out of their pockets. And I'd be like, oh, you dropped your... Yeah, I'm not gonna pick that one up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't want to tell my mum and dad, you know, like what goes on in London. But my parents grew up, they were both fostered, like they had a very difficult upbringing, so they saw things like that, but they sheltered me from it because I think they didn't want me to see what they saw growing up. But oh my goodness, at this club, I saw a lot. To the point where, I'm just gonna spill the tea now, the actual club in Mayfair, they had their own drug dealer. They had their own drug dealer. Yeah. These men, these Albanian men would come in at night. They were Albanian, like they were actually Albanian because I used to speak to them before I knew they were drug dealers. Anyway, they'd come in and I'd be like, come in, like, you know, if they allowed in, you know, if they had their ID checked, all these things for security, and they were like, they just go straight in. And I was like, these men are special, you know, they might be MI5 special agents. Oh no, just drug dealers, casually. Like, I think the club, and I think in London, a lot of the clubbing scene, I don't know whether anyone else agrees with me, anyone that goes out in London or anything, but, or anywhere, I feel like, unfortunately, in society now, drugs are such a massive thing. Like, they really are. I think when I worked at that club, I got offered drugs more than I got offered water. I'd be like, where's the water bottles? And bearing in mind, I didn't drink at all really at the time. I don't drink now for sure, but at the time I didn't drink, so I was like, it was even harder to see the whole world of all this, you know, underground world when you're sober. Don't get me wrong though, I loved working at that club. I found my best friend Lucy through that club. I've made so many friends from that club. Honestly, that club, I can't even thank it enough for how much it taught me as a person, but then also the dark side of it, which I speak about in other story times, which I'll tell you about, you know, in a couple of weeks. Let's be real, a lot of shiz went down. I mean, personally, I actually think I made that club. Like, I definitely didn't. But I would sing to the customers. Like, I would actually sing to the customers. What's that favourite song of mine? I would sing so many different things. That I'd be like, welcome to the club. I would literally sing opera at them. Like, they must have been like, what are we coming into? But my manager loved it. Like, he found it funny. There were about 5 different managers and then the top manager. But the 5 different managers, there was a couple of different dynamics. There was one that was very passive aggressive, couldn't really work out if she liked me. I think she did. But at the time I was like, she doesn't like me at all. You know that kind of passive aggressive where she would sort of slag you off, but in a jokey way, but meaning you don't do enough work. Do you know what I mean? But the men managers loved them, absolutely loved them. And the 2 owners of the club, they'd come in sometimes for like some dinners and stuff like that. Well, when they were coming in, it would already be on the notepad, it would already be on the iPad. So I'm like, I know they're coming in. I've got the flower in my hair, I've got my makeup on, I'm loving life. When they come in, you watch me. I am gonna be so friendly, it's a joke. But one thing I did start to realise is that there wasn't a seat and my legs would kill. So I'd be standing on my legs from 6 until about 4 in the morning. Oh my goodness me, my legs would kill. I'd want a seat so badly, and they used to have a seat but they took it away. I don't know why, but one of the new managers that came in were like, you don't need a seat, and apparently I really wanted one. But it was just so much fun because I'd work with 2 other girls and we'd just take the cash, we'd walk people down to their tables, we'd have a laugh, and sometimes they'd be like, Imogen, go downstairs and just dance. And I'd be like, okay. So I'd just go downstairs, probably being exploited for me dancing sexually, because I dance and I'm quite good at dancing. I love dancing and I'm confident about it. I trained in it. But they'd be like, go downstairs and dance. They'd be like, go over to this table, and I'd be like, sorry. So I'd go downstairs and dance, but I wouldn't dance on a table. Be like to the men, like, you're not gonna spend, you know, I'm not that dancer. I'm not that kind of dancer. No shade, no tea. Like, if you want to be that kind of dancer, be that kind of dancer. But I wasn't. But I can't wait to tell you about like the funny stories. But honestly, I had such a laugh and created so many memories at that place. I'd meet a lot of boys, I'd meet a lot of girls in the job, and apparently my gaydar is off, because I would think every single one of them that I'd speak to, like every single one of the boys, they'd be like on to me, flirting with me, and I'd be like, wow, like, they fancy me. And then I'd find out from, you know, everyone else that they like boys. And there's Imogen, like, they fancy me. No, hun. No, hun. Like, my gaydar is so bad, honestly. If you're a boy out there watching me and you are gay, I probably think you're straight. I'll meet you and be like, oh my goodness, like, my poor fiance, like, he's coming on to me. No, they're not. Shut up. You're so annoying. Honestly, I was so bad for it. But one thing I did work out quite early on is that I could stand up from 6 till 9 because it was quite dead from 6 till 9. Then 9 o'clock I'd have my break till 10. And 10 o'clock is when the club would open. From 6 till 9 I worked out pretty early on that the security camera above me didn't work. So your baby girl would bring her headphones in. The iPad be chilling, because that's how you have to have bookings and stuff like that. I would just be watching Towie, I'll be watching Made in Chelsea, I'll be watching all sorts. Now I'm more of like a Homes Under the Hammer kind of girl, Kirsty and Phil's kind of programmes. I like George Clark home programmes, you know, I'm kind of that person. But at the time, there was Imogen just chilling watching TV, getting paid. I mean, if you're watching now, management, I love you. And I'm sure you already knew that. Everyone did it from 6 till 9. It was chilled until the new manager came in and locked on to it and was like, we're going to fix that little security camera up there, hun. You're not getting away with it much longer. But overall, like, I loved working at the club because it was flexible. Like I said, you had loads of friends and all these things, but it did take a dark, twisted turn, which I'm going to tell you about in the next coming story times. But it made me quite open to the world, but also maybe it made me know a bit too much about things I didn't need to know about. Maybe a bit bitter, maybe, towards men for definite. But I can't wait to tell you all about those story times. If you like this video, please definitely give it a thumbs up. Definitely go and check over on my Instagram because I've got some really big news which I've just announced. And also stay tuned for next Sunday because we have Storytime Sunday and it's about to get big. It's about to get deep. I love you all so much. Until next time, I'm gonna love you. And I'm gonna love you. I'm so annoying, I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. I bet you all wish that I went back to the club and just stopped this. I hope you don't. Please stay subscribed. I love you all so much. Bye.